back to episode 53 of Off the Wall podcast. I'm Bobby here with Matt, Melo, and Kyle. Full house. We got to recap a lot of free agency stuff, but of course the big news. Aaron Judge is a Yankee, but not Arson Judge. Arson Judge to the San Francisco Giants. But Aaron Judge is a New York Yankee, don't worry.
I mean, what a gaffe! One of the biggest goof ups, and wow, it's just all the memes that came out of this. I'm thankful it happened because it's hilarious, but I'm sure it took a couple years off of Bobby and Kyle's lives. So,
yeah, I think I legitimately had a heart attack in that 7-minute span, or probably more than that, because from going low to the high of him not signing, I was fired up for like an hour after the fact. That was crazy.
You were in shock. You couldn't believe it. And oh my God, can you imagine if we lost Twitter a couple weeks ago? We would have never seen this. This moment would have never happened.
It's gonna last forever though. Like that moment is gonna be like a baseball Twitter thing that no one will ever forget. Like that 5-minute, 10-minute span. That was ridiculous.
I already have my 1-minute video for on this day in baseball history next year.
Not yet.
John Heyman drops the ball.
That's gonna be every single year from now on. December 6th.
6.
Yep. At 5:20 p.m.
5:20.
2:20
Arson Judge. Oh yeah. Sorry.
West
5:20.
Coast.
5:20 East Coast time. But oh my God. But yes, Aaron Judge is a New York Yankee for life. 9 years, $360 million. They announced it early this morning, very early, Wednesday morning.
Thanks for waking me up, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Should I have called you?
I mean, listen, my phone was on silent, so.
Okay. I was thinking about it because I was like, "There's no way you're up right now, seeing this news." But I woke up to my phone vibrating 1,000 times to the Judge stuff. It was nuts. It was crazy. Crazy 24 hours for us Yankee fans, but we'll get into the other stuff too, because since the last time we recorded, it seemed like so many signings happened. We only predicted a couple, and then a ton of guys signed, but there's still a lot of good talent out there too. We'll dive into everything, but we'll get into the Judge stuff first. So yeah, I know you guys are surprised because everyone except for me picked the Giants. 3 of you picked the Giants. I had my doubts yesterday after all of the, well, obviously before even the Heyman stuff, when they were talking about the offer that the Giants gave to Judge, and the Time magazine article when Judge was saying that in high school he predicted that he was going to be in the Giants and all this stuff. Like, it was basically saying that he was going to be a Giant, but I think everything just added up to. I think part of me thinks this was all planned by him. I think it was excellent negotiation by him. Obviously, he got a ton of money. Somehow the Padres got involved, offered him $400 million. I don't know how that happened. It was just a crazy, crazy, crazy free agent situation with Aaron Judge. Something we've never really seen before.
It's from the outside, even as a Phillies fan and a Major League Baseball fan, and Melo can relate to this. It was insane, the whole frenzy around everything between Arson Judge and the Giants to, like you said, the Time magazine article, hearing Bobby and Kyle's thoughts on everything gave me a feel of how the Yankees were feeling. But I need to hear more from the other Yankee fan here, Kyle. I mean, I'm sure you can say, yeah, I felt the same way Bobby did, but we need to hear some more out of this.
We need to hear your words. Let it all out.
Yeah, so okay, so there's obviously a lot, but I had him going to the Giants. I didn't see him coming back to the Yankees. I mean, I kind of made up my mind after the very first contract offer before the season happened. But with everything that went on, I mean, I think everything was planned out. Judge did an amazing job, him and his camp, to get the absolute most money that he could from the team that he wanted to go back to, which is obviously the Yankees. Um, but I mean, yeah, last night I thought for sure. I mean, my whole thing was yes, John Heyman is now a meme forever, and it's going to be hilarious to talk about, think about, whatever. But my whole thing was, why did he put that out there? He had to have some sort of rhyme or reason to even think about tweeting that. So my whole thing was, yeah, he screwed up, but it's basically a done deal. Like, obviously, there's some sort of information to put that out there. So I went to bed last night thinking I was going to wake up with news saying that it was actually going to be official and Judge was going to San Francisco. But I mean, now I can just laugh about it. But yeah, I prepared myself for a very long time expecting him to leave. So for me personally, it was like, yeah, I mean, the initial reaction was going to suck, but I had him going to San Fran. So for me, it kind of just I had my mind set on what he was doing.
And it seemed like up until I'm sure you guys heard this, but Hal Steinbrenner was apparently in Italy on vacation,
Yeah.
and he ended up getting on the phone with Judge and finishing the deal. So I really believe that he was a giant. He was a giant until this morning. From
I
the
agree.
time that Heyman made that stupid ass tweet until sometime this morning, I think he was gonna be a giant. And then Hal Steinbrenner was able to do what he was supposed to do, and now he's still a Yankee.
Yeah, apparently he had gotten word about the Giants, obviously big offer, and then the Padres too, because that's why on Tuesday night Judge flew into San Diego, and that was actually for a meeting with the Padres. He was in Petco Park last night, meeting with the Padres there. So that was a very real thing, which would have been insane if imagine he was like, nope, I'm not going to the Yankees or the Giants. I'm signing with the San Diego Padres. But good for him for not taking the 400 million because any one of us would probably done that.
I mean, any of one of us probably though would have taken the 295 at the beginning of the
Oh, yeah.
season too.
The 213, yeah.
Yeah, I would
213.
I would take a million.
No,
and
I
I'd be happy.
I know, but to be able to turn down $400 million because apparently he wanted to be a Yankee, props to him, and that's amazing. But that whole thing, I mean, if we want to say anything more about Judge, we could just transition. What's up with the Padres? Apparently offering Judge 400 million and Trea Turner what 342
Too. Yeah.
and not
And
getting
both of
either
them
of them.
denying it.
Why?
Well, and I mean, think about it. Do you think I don't think they would have gotten both of them if they would have got
Oh, yeah.
Turner. They probably wouldn't have offered to Judge. But to
Oh.
think they have Machado, he's on a $300 million deal, I believe. And then Tatis, and then Juan Soto too. They're gonna probably extend him. I would imagine they'll try to. So to think that they would have went with probably at least $300 million contracts would have been insane. And I mean, I know there are teams that have that. The Yankees are one right now, have $300 million contracts. But it's interesting, like you said, why did both of them turn it down? I guess they both wanted. It seemed like momentum was for Trea Turner going to the Phillies, and he really wanted to be there. And obviously, Judge really wanted to stay in New York too. But you got to really want to be somewhere for a team to turn down an extra however
40
many million, 40 million or more.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. I can't believe that they didn't. It's kind of good for hold on, Melo. I know you want to say something about the Padres. Go for it.
No, I mean, two things. Number one, the Padres with Trea Turner and Aaron Judge, they were almost like that fly on the wall. Like the Aaron Judge and Turner were trying to sign their deals with the other teams, and then Padres just come in, try to, distract them and steal them away. Then they just swatted them away. But this is the problem I have with Padre fans. They bitch and complain about the Dodgers, buying their team. Look what the hell your organization has been doing for the last 72 hours. Listen, I'm glad I'm glad they're not Padres because that would have been very bad for us. But it was very funny to see that the Padres made, to me, a desperation heave to try and get these two guys, and they ended up falling short.
Yeah. Imagine that outfield. So say, I don't know, is Tatis going to be their shortstop next year, or is he playing outfield? I guess it depends what they do, right?
Yeah, sources close to me have said that he probably is going to the outfield.
Right.
So, because
Okay.
they like, I guess, Ha-Seong Kim at short. So,
Right. So hypothetically, say they sign Judge, that outfield of Judge, Juan Soto, and
Wow.
what do you call it? Tatis.
Tatis.
That would have
yeah,
been something.
that would have been fun. That would have been kind of scary.
Yeah, just a little bit. But the thing is, with Machado, he could opt out after this year, and I think he might,
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
because he's only locked up for the next
Machado
4 or
signed in
5 years.
2018.
Yeah, like 5-ish years, something like that. And that's only to age 35, getting paid $30 million a year with all these contracts getting handed out, especially this offseason. He could probably make, if he has another season like he did in 2022, he's going to make more than 30 million a year. So if he's healthy, I think he's probably going to opt out and get paid even more.
I mean, it's a whole nother avenue, a whole nother conversation to have.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we already got enough free agents to talk about.
Yeah,
We haven't even. I don't know if we're done talking about Judge or not.
that's
I mean,
fine. It's
maybe
all
we
right.
can talk about the Phillies getting their guy. Or Melo's got one more thing. Go ahead.
Before we move on to the other free agents, I'm gonna continue to do the girl voice, even though Judge signed this big ass contract extension that doesn't change.
It doesn't,
But
it's okay.
it's one last time before we can move on from this because he now is penciled in, pending a physical. He is a New York Yankee for life.
Say that.
There we go.
Hey, he's in Hawaii right now. Okay, so you never know what he's doing over there on his anniversary. And by the way, congratulations. Aaron Judge, I knew you wouldn't leave me. You're a Yankee for life. John Heyman's an idiot. You're not going home. You're staying a
Oh,
Yankee.
boy.
Oh my God.
Never gets old, Mello. Never
No,
gets
never.
old.
I appreciate that.
2 things real quick before you jump off this. 1, imagine Judge doesn't pass a physical.
Oh, come on.
That would that would just add to the saga. And then 2, I genuinely feel bad for Giants fans because that sucks. Having Aaron Judge for 7 minutes, thinking basically like me and Kyle had talked about this on our 161 report pod, but like arguably the biggest free agent signing in a very, very long time, considering price, star power, just the hype surrounding it. The Giants had him for 7 minutes and then, oh, just kidding, I jumped the gun. And then the next morning they wake up to Aaron Judge being a Yankee. Like I couldn't imagine if the roles were reversed. I would be livid.
I would much rather be on the side that me and you were, Bobby, right now, and having to just go through that BS 7 minutes
Right.
versus having the 7 minutes to be happy, and then bam, now you got to live with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would
That's
much
brutal.
rather be on our side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the Giants, we had heard about rumors of them going after Judge for about maybe a year and a half. So they shifted their focus to this off season, to make a big push for Aaron Judge. And they were, I mean, listen, for 7 minutes they had him and they thought they were at the doorstep, but I can't imagine what the front office is thinking, It's like, shit, man, we had him. What happened?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into it maybe if we have time. But where do they go from here?
Was Bonds not enough?
Do they go out and sign Correa and someone else? Do they spend that $350 million that they were going to spend on Judge, or do they save it? I don't know. I'm sure they're very, like you said, I couldn't imagine how the Giants feel. Not only the fans, but the front office.
For the sake of Giants fans, I really hope that they get somebody out of this and not just go through this entire offseason having Mitch Haniger as their, their big pickup.
Yeah.
So I really hope for the sake of them that they get somebody else other than Arson Judge. to add to that lineup. So just really hope for the sake of the fans that, they get somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, listen, I know the Giants and Dodger fans don't like each other, but I was really feeling for the Giant fan yesterday. That has to suck.
Yeah.
I mean, and they also have Rodon as a free agent too, who they might lose. So that could be even
To the
more salt in
Yankees.
the wound. I really hope, man.
We'll see. All right, let's move on. Matt, you've had to listen to us talk about the Yankees for long enough. Let's talk about Trea Turner to the
Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia Phillies for the next 11 seasons, $300 million.
No
Very
opt-outs.
shocking. It's a huge contract. I was not expecting to be that big.
Mm-mm.
But I'm happy for Philly because that's what Dave Dombrowski does. He opens up his checkbook and gives double what everyone's expecting, basically.
Oh, exactly. And that's Dombo, baby. I mean, that's the only way to say it realistically. That's life with Dave Dombrowski as your GM. You're going to go out there and you're going to swing for the fences every single time, and you are going to hit 500-foot moonshots, and then you're also going to swing and miss like Javi Baez sometimes.
Oh
So,
shit.
and this was, in my opinion, this was a connection, and this was it seemed like it was coming down the road. It seemed like all signs were pointing to Trea Turner. He said he wanted to come back to the East Coast. Phillies were in need of a infielder, shortstop. I imagine they're scooting Bryson Stott over to second base. So Phillies were in need, and he wanted to come to the East Coast. Phillies have always been a team that's willing to spend the money, and here they were again. Bryce Harper teaming up with his old teammate. So
And
I love
Schwarber.
this personally, and Schwarber too. So yeah, personally, I love this, and I think this elevates the Phillies lineup. They needed a contact guy. They never really had that guy who could hit for average recently, and that's what this squad needed. I know he's I don't even want to get into he's older and he's going to be 35 or whenever by the time this contract expires, or 39 it might be. So I don't want to get into that and what the last year is going to look like, because I think I've already been on the record on this podcast saying I don't want to see what the Phillies look like in 10 years or so, because I might be scared.
But that's the thing with the big contracts, though. I mean, everyone knows when you sign a guy to a 10-year contract, it is so rare that the 8th, 9th, 10th years are going to be good. You pay big money for the first basically 3/4 of the contract, and then you eat it for the rest of the contract because of what they did in the first half or 3/4. But that's what you do. If you win in the beginning, that's all that matters, really.
Exactly. And we're, like you said, we're paying for the first 5 years, maybe 6 years. So
Hopefully
you
more
got to
than
expect
that.
a championship. Well, yeah, hopefully, but I'm expecting a championship now in the next coming years. I mean, I don't think that's unrealistic, because I mean, we're coming off a trip to the World Series now, and we're pretty well tooled up this year. I mean, there's a couple more acquisitions we could make, but I feel like obviously it would really be nice to have Bryce for the whole season, but that's not happening. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about where the Phillies are.
Yeah. And the other acquisitions they made, Taiwan Walker bringing him on, Matt Strom. There was someone
Yeah.
else, right? Or no? No, that was it. Was it?
I
That
believe
might have
that
been it.
was it.
But yeah, no. I
Yeah.
mean, that's improving everywhere where they need to improve.
Exactly. I mean, we should not be done in the bullpen, and we should not be done. We should get another starter, I think, unless they're looking to call people up. But I think other than that, the lineup is really set in terms of if there was a third baseman available, which there's not. No offense to Justin Turner and Brandon Drury, but that'd be a position that the Phillies would maybe look to upgrade. But Alec Boehm loves it here now, so that might not be as much of an issue anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Phillies are looking good. I'm happy for Philly so far. Definitely a huge move with Trea Turner. Who do we get into next?
I mean, just one quick thing before we move
Oh,
on. You know,
yes.
these big contracts, contracts that Judge got and then the Trea Turner got. You know, in like 6-7 years, the amount of AAV they're gonna be making, it might not even be like the highest. It's not gonna be the highest because players are gonna come along, they're gonna get more money, and the Phillies and Yankees are gonna look at guys like Judge and Turner and say, "Man, we're paying how much for this guy this year?" But great, that's fine.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
Yeah.
how the Stanton. That's how the Stanton contract looks now.
yeah, because he's not even making 30. He's
He's
making
not.
less
I
than
don't. He's making low 20s. I think he makes like 21 next year,
that. Yeah,
something like that.
that's crazy. And another one who you can compare it to, Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper makes $26 million a year, I think.
His contract looks amazing
It's
as long as he
insane.
Yeah.
can stay on the field more.
Because
But
he could realistically be making 40 million. Like I really do think so.
if
If
not
he was a
more.
free agent. Yeah,
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 it's
And
amazing.
think about how the Phillies got killed for that contract when they signed him. I know a lot of it was for 13 years signing him for that long, but now like Bellinger signed recently, and Josh Reddick's saying about how he should hit 200 and strike out 150 times and get paid 20 million. So I think Bryce Harper's doing all right for
Yeah,
what he's getting paid.
exactly.
yeah. Then you're gonna look at the Braves and you'd be like, "Damn, these guys don't make anything in a couple years.
Yeah.
Dirt
They're
cheap,
actually going to
man."
be
that
broke.
Acuna.
Yeah, that's gonna be the league
Jeez.
minimum in a couple years.
But yeah, no, that's it's cool. I'm happy for the Phillies. We're happy for you, Matt, for the move so far.
Yeah.
Let's go stick in your division. Justin Verlander.
JV.
We're kind of going out of order, but it's okay. Justin Verlander signing with the Mets. 2-year deal, what was it, 86.6? With a vesting option for the third year. I love this move for the Mets. I I really, really, really love it. I understand obviously the health issues. He's what, 40 years old. Paying a 40-year-old pitcher 40 whatever $1 million. It's a little risky. But if he could pitch like he did last year, he was the best pitcher in baseball last year. It's just such a high risk, high reward. It's obviously hasn't stopped the Mets from spending otherwise as well. I love it for them.
I think you can make a comparison to the exact same teams signing Max Scherzer last year, and was that a 2 or 3 year deal?
That was 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so and he was coming off a fantastic season with the Nationals and Dodgers. Other than at the end of the season, the postseason there,
Thank you.
we had that dead arm. But before
Who did
that,
he play for
he
again?
was. Did he? Wasn't he a finalist for Cy Young? I feel like that season,
Yeah, I think so in
or
21.
he
Yeah.
should have at least been top 10. Yeah. So, and JV just won Cy Young. Now, how did that pan out for the Mets this year? I mean, there's mixed takes on that. The Scherzer missed some time, but
When
when he
was
pitched,
pitching.
he was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like a pretty similar case here, except JV hasn't really shown any signs of injury since he got his Tommy John taken care of. So it could be even better than Max Scherzer
Yeah.
in terms of like the deal and stuff. So
Right. Yeah, no, I'm excited for the Mets for this one. I like it a lot.
I do too.
I'm gonna chime in here quick. So the Mets, obviously, I don't want to get too much into because we're gonna be talking about it a little bit later. Jacob deGrom, right? So you lose him, right? And that's a big loss, especially obviously when he's healthy. But the Mets had one chance to make this right, and they did it. They brought in JV, Cy Young winner, pair him up with Scherzer. I mean, obviously, maybe a few more pitching moves to really solidify that pitching staff, because you just lost Walker to the Phillies. So you have Carrasco, who's back, most likely McGill, depending on his injuries, and they just signed Jose Quintana today.
Yeah.
So that staff is forming nicely. I'm not saying it is anywhere near if Jacob deGrom was slotted in, but they had one chance to make it right, and I think they did. So props to the Mets.
Yeah, for sure. Melo? What are you saying?
Scherzer, you're no longer the ace of this team. Verlander, you get the ball opening day. That's it. That's my 2 cents right there.
I wonder who's gonna get the ball.
That's
Verlander.
come across my mind too.
Yeah,
The reigning Cy Young Award winner,
yeah.
whose arm doesn't fall off when it matters most.
Jeez, someone's a little upset about. You're not over it, are you?
No, he should have taken the ball. He's the reason why Walker Buehler's out for 2 years.
Ooh.
Because he had to go, he had to pitch that game, and he ended up getting overused, and then came back this year, and now he's gone for 2 years. So thank you, Scherzer.
All right, I'm sorry for bringing it up, but sorry for bringing it up. But shout out to the Mets. Great deal for them. Like Kyle said, let's go into Jacob deGrom. As most of us predicted, Kyle, I don't think you did, right?
No, I said Atlanta.
Okay. As
Oh,
me,
that would have been fun.
yeah, as me, Matt,
Yeah.
Mel predicted, Jacob deGrom
Wow.
goes to Texas. Right? We all, Matt, you did
Yeah,
too, right?
we said Texas.
No, I was just
Yep.
making
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
deGrom goes to Texas, 5-year deal, $135 million.
Around there.
Yeah.
With
Oh
a
no, no,
chance
no.
being 6 years.
Yeah. Um. Again, I mean, it's stupid because, like, this goes without saying. If he's healthy, this is a great deal. If he's not, then it's we'll see. But it all, I don't know what else there is to say other than it all depends on his health. That's all really you have to say about it, I think.
And
Yeah.
Rangers showed that they're not scared to spend it all. So I mean, we all knew that to a degree, but I mean, look at what they've done the past 2 off seasons here. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I think either way. So say he's not health, say he doesn't make 30 starts next year. I still think that Jacob deGrom is going to make a huge impact on this Rangers team just because of the young guys coming up. Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker. He's going to be a mentor to them, I think. He's going to make a big impact, obviously on the field, but I think off the field too, kind of guiding these young players because the Rangers are a young team, with the exception of like the Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, all those guys. But I think deGrom's going to have a huge impact on this team on the field and also off, guiding these young pitchers.
I
And
think he's
this,
gonna have more of an impact off the field, but go ahead. Go ahead, Mello.
sorry, this is the thing where I feel bad for the Met fan. And let me explain to you why real quick. Jacob deGrom, they developed him. They came through their farm system. That was their Aaron Judge. That was their like forever guy. Contract comes around, he's out the door immediately. Doesn't even want to hear from the Mets, doesn't even want to hear how much they're offering. First deal out, I'm gone. And then they go watch their other team that plays in the same city of them go lock down their guy in Aaron Judge. The Met fan can't have anything nice sometimes. This is where I feel sad for the Mets. Because when they have these homegrown guys, these forever guys, first chance they get, they're gone. And then they have to watch the Yankees go lock down Aaron Judge for another 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Um,
My mom is a Mets fan. Sorry, Mom. But she is a Mets fan, and we were talking about this today, exactly what you just said, Mello. And it's the truth. I mean, it really is. I mean, all their hometown guys seem to just go right out and leave the Mets with no rhyme or reason, whatever it is. But yeah, it's tough.
It's amazing, when you play for the Yankees, it's, oh, I want to be in New York. I love New York. But then when you play for the Mets, I kind of want to get out of here. I want to go see what I have somewhere else. Let me propose this question to you guys. Do you guys think he makes 60 starts, over or under?
Under completely.
60 starts total?
60 starts. Not this year, obviously.
No. I'm saying for the 5 years. deGrom?
Next 2 years.
Under 60
Under.
for the next 2 years. And side note, I said 135. It's 185. I don't know what I was thinking. 135 was
Even
not a
worse.
lot.
Worse.
No, yeah. When I said 135, I was like, that's not even $30 million a year. It was more than that. So yeah, 5 years, 185. But Yeah, no, I think less than 60.
I mean,
Then this contract is not worth it. Then.
I'd even push it 4 years, man. 60 starts in 4 years.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know,
No,
man.
no way. I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know what?
we need a little positivity in here. Come on.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay,
hold
okay,
on,
here.
hold on.
Give me. He is out of my division. He is no longer my issue. So you better believe that he is top tier Cy Young, sub 1 ERA this season. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, give me 60 starts in 2 seasons.
You know what? I'm gonna say he's fully healthy next season, though, in 2023. That's my prediction.
will you
I
say he wins the Cy Young award next year?
That would be awesome. That would be again. That would be such a Mets thing. If Jacob deGrom goes out in 2023 and wins the Cy Young in the AL, not being healthy for the past 2+ years for the Mets, signed a massive deal to get out of Queens, goes to the Rangers, wins Cy Young.
Throws
That
a
would be
no hitter.
Yeah,
Starts in the All Star
Does
game.
we have to
does
see when the
Verlander go back to back, win in the NL this year?
or he might get hurt because he's getting the
Yeah,
Mets
or
curse.
that. Or that.
Speaking of Verlander, maybe the Yankees have a chance to beat the Astros now that Verlander's out of. They don't have to deal with him anymore.
That is
Probably
true.
not.
But there's probably going to be another Astro pitcher in their organization who they bring up next year that no
Oh,
one's heard of, and it's the next Justin Verlander.
well, haven't you seen they
I can
have
see
the
it.
guy that pitches exactly like him? I don't know what his name is,
Yeah.
but he's already up at the big league level. So
Yeah, I
they
saw
already
that.
got that figured out, Bobby.
Yeah, I know.
You're
I
2 steps behind.
Oh yeah, I know. Just like the Yankees are with the Astros, but
Damn.
Yep.
yeah, whatever. I'm just accepting it. But at least we signed Aaron Judge, so that makes our team a lot better. Oh wait,
As
it's the,
as we're the same.
oh wait, it's the same exact team.
Just a little bit more expensive this time.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jacob deGrom, have fun in Texas. We'll never hear from you again.
Yeah, and it seems like
mean,
everyone's been
listen.
saying this, but obviously he didn't want to stay a Met, and
No.
just like you guys were saying, it seems like no one really wants to stay a Met. But deGrom, he just left, and he wants to. I don't want to say be irrelevant in Texas, but he's kind of just flying under the radar as a Ranger now.
I
He's not going to
mean,
be in the spotlight.
have you heard much of Seager and Simeon?
No.
Did you hear much of them in
No.
2022?
No, only in the beginning when Semyon couldn't hit. That's the only time I heard about him.
That's true.
And then when he started hitting, I heard less about it, which makes no sense. But
I mean, MLB Network will feed him a bone. When deGrom pitches, they'll put the game on. But other than that, that's about it.
when the Rangers play the Mets next year, because remember every team's playing each other, that's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's in New York or in Texas. That's
I'll
something
New
to look
York.
forward to.
Okay,
Oh,
never
it
mind.
is?
I believe so. I got the tweet the other day.
Do you think deGrom pitches?
No.
I don't
I
think
hope
so.
so.
I don't think so. Even if his schedule is lined up to, I think somehow they,
Back tightness.
yeah, or they
It'll
sit him
almost be
out.
like Syndergaard.
We're
Yeah,
going to a 6-man rotation.
yeah. He has a family emergency this day or something. I don't know.
Hey Melo, you want to make a AL West predictions? Can I talk you into the Rangers this
We're
year?
not doing this
instead of-
again. I'm not doing this again. We are not doing this again. Listen, the reason why it doesn't listen, the Mariners, okay, it's not terrible because they ended up making the playoffs, but you talked me into them winning the damn division last year.
Yeah, that was nuts. I'm looking forward to that again.
It'll be
Other
a good time.
yeah, other free agents. There've been a ton in the past 4 or 5 days. None like other huge names today. Wilson Contreras signed with the Cardinals,
No
replacing.
loyalty.
Yeah, that was kind of shock. Well, not really because I picked it, but it's kind of. But like him leaving the Cubs to go to the Cardinals, I don't know how Cubs fans feel about that.
Where's the loyalty at anymore? Can you imagine after the Red Sox won the World Series in 2004 and Pedro Martinez was a free agent? Can you imagine if he just signed with the Yankees the next season? There's no loyalty anymore.
Especially because they've definitely had like brawls before. or some sort of like incident, I feel. I can't think of
Well,
anything off the top of my head, but
and it's MLB's marketing them as like, I'm gonna take a stretch here, but like as MLB's second biggest rivalry, sending them to Europe next year after Boston and New York played last
2 years
year.
ago. Yeah.
So, or a couple years ago,
Yeah.
whenever it was. So they're really pushing this as a rivalry too, and him just switching sides like this. I mean, yeah, it can happen, but a little strange to see.
Yeah.
And how do the Cardinals feel about all this? This is Yadier Molina's replacement, a guy that we hated when he was with the other team, the Cubs, for years.
Yeah. Exactly. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, to tie it in, it's similar-ish to the Dodgers and the whole Correa situation. How apparently the Dodgers, I think Rosenthal reported it today, that the Dodgers are not going after Correa because of the backlash of the fan, or
Uh,
they're nervous about the fan reaction.
what does he know?
They gotta grow up. Those Dodger fans are yours.
I'm already grown up. The other people below me that need to grow up.
Below you.
It's
That's
true.
funny. I know. But yeah, that's something to look out for. Other signings, we had mentioned the Mitch Haniger one. Cody Bellinger to the Cubs on a 1-year, $17 million deal. I'm happy for, hopefully he goes back to somewhat of that MVP form, because that collapse of his, man, it's so sad to see. And I'm sure Melo could speak more about it. Him
Yeah,
experiencing it firsthand, but
yeah. Listen, I'm just gonna dump on him in the next minute or so. But before I do that, I wish nothing but the best for Cody Bellinger. You know, he was one of the fan favorites from the very beginning when he came up in 2017. You know, um, he was an all-star. He was an MVP. He's a World Series champion. Rookie of the year. Him and Seager were back-to-back Rookie of the years. They had a promotion in 2018, a T-shirt promotion of the back-to-back MVPs, and I actually have that T-shirt still. It kind of sucks that they're both gone now, but that's baseball. What are you gonna do? But listen, man, the last 2 years were not great, and it's time to move on. And I hope this lights a fire under his ass to go perform in Chicago, and then a year from now, hopefully he'll get that big contract somewhere else. But I just thanks, and he also was an NLCS MVP. So I appreciate it. We had a lot of memories, but it was time to move on for both sides.
are you guys surprised he got so much? 17 and a half? Or no?
I feel like it's such a, you can go either way. Like he's a former MVP, and maybe you feel like you know what he needs to do to fix to get back to that level, but also the fact that if he was not a former MVP, this guy wouldn't be getting that much shouldn't be getting near that much money, it feels like. So I mean, I'm glad for the Cubs that they played it safe and only signed him for 1 year, but I feel like it's overpay a little bit. But then again, he could go out if they are able to fix his career and whatever's up, then it looks like a great deal. So
Yeah, then they look like geniuses if they fix it.
yeah.
And the whole 1-year thing, you can't really, it's hard to say you overpay for a year almost. I feel like that's kind of an argument too, I feel. Because it's just a 1 year, like you could eat the 17 million if they have the money to spend or waste it, I guess you could say. But the Cubs also get Jameson Taillon, 4 years, 68 million. Sad to see him go as a Yankee fan because he was a solid relief or starter. But Cubs get a solid starter and potentially a good bat in Bellinger. So good to see the Cubs making some moves.
Next
And
up, Correa.
exactly, I was just gonna say maybe even more, and that would be one of your picks, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What else? What else? We talked about Taijuan Walker to the Phillies, Josh Bell to the Guardians. I'm happy for them. That's a good bat to have.
That's a perfect
Sneaky
fit too.
Unguardians move.
Yes.
It's a very perfect fit.
Yeah. They need a bat. Good first baseman, DH guy. I like him a lot. Switch hitter. I like him in MLB The Show too.
There you go.
Who else? Oh, Melo's former closer, Kenley Jansen, just signed today to the Boston Red Sox. 2 years, $32 million.
Good for Jansen, man. Now you can go strike out Aaron Judge every week. That'd be nice to see. No, I mean that's not gonna happen. He's probably listen. A couple years ago, I thought Jesus. A couple years ago, I thought Jansen wasn't even gonna be in the league anymore, just because it was going so downhill. But he's been able to stay afloat. I mean, he's not what he once was, but
He had a good
he'll
season
get
last year.
yeah, he'll get the job
He
done.
was really solid with Atlanta.
Yeah. I don't like him being in the Red Sox with the Red Sox,
No, that I don't.
but and then I guess the other one that I wanted to bring up was a couple hours before we started recording. Masataka Yoshida. I'm probably butchering that, but that outfielder from Japan who got posted this year signs with the Red Sox. Also, again, someone who I'm not thrilled with because I kind of wanted him for the Yankees, but that's a good deal. 5 years, just 90 million, I believe. The high on base guy, contact guy. A lot of teams were interested in him, and Red Sox won it. But I'm excited to see him.
I hope he turns out a little bit better than Seiya did last year. I mean, Seiya Suzuki was off. He got off to a hot start last year, but he sort of faded. I know he got injured at 1.2, but it's so interesting to see how some of the people who come over from the Japanese league, like you're not sure how it's going to transfer over to Major League Baseball, like just in terms of the talent. So, I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do too, and here in Major League Baseball. So,
Yeah, it's always fun when, because like you said, adjusting to a completely different league. I don't know. It's definitely something to look out for. Potentially a Rookie of the Year candidate too, obviously, in the American League.
next Ichiro.
Mm, Maybe. Is that what you're claiming? Is that what you want to get
No,
on
no, no,
record?
no, 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 no,
Hey,
no,
yeah, he's only like 3,000 hits away. That's all.
no.
Yeah, I think that's all the really moves that were significant. But again, that was only been the past 4 or 5 days. Bunch of top talent off the board. Correa, Dansby, Bogart still remain free agents. Carlos Rodon, a lot of Bassett. There's still a lot of guys out there. And Benintendi, Nimmo, all those
Yeah.
guys. So,
Gene Segura.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I should have named him first. So by the time we record next week, what's one move that's going to be made? Anyone have one off the top of their head?
I'm 1 for 1 with this, so
Yeah, you are.
really trying to think about
Well,
this.
wait a second. I actually called Judge was going to sign on Wednesday, December 7th. Go
You
check
did.
last
You
episode.
actually did.
Yeah,
You actually did.
yeah, no big deal, but
We
pat
had the
myself on
wrong
the back for
team,
that.
but
Yeah, you did. I said it. Remember at the end of the episode, I said me and Matt are going to say Judge to the Yankees, and then you were like, "No, Giants."
yeah,
You were right.
I did.
You were right for the 7 minutes.
What are the lotto
Yep.
numbers, Bobby? Might as well give them to us.
I can't tell you that. And everyone else listening is going to hear it too. I'm going to say Brandon Nimmo to the Mariners.
Okay.
I guess that's my pick.
I'm gonna go. I don't think this is too bold, and maybe it won't happen by next week. I sure hope it does. Xander Bogaerts back to the Red Sox.
Okay. Yeah, there were some talks that they were intensifying today between him and the Red Sox, but who knows?
Yep.
That might have just been a John Heyman little little tweet. Kyle, any predictions for the next week? Within the next week?
Well, I need to get my predictions a little bit better than what they've been. So I'm going to put one of my predictions out there. I'm going to say Dansby Swanson goes to the Cubs.
I like it. Okay. Interesting. Melo,
I had to pull out
your list.
I had the free agent list. Had to pull it out because there's still names on here, obviously that haven't been signed yet. But
While
damn,
Melo's looking, shout out to Fred McGriff getting into the Hall of Fame too. Had
Yeah.
to have to mention that. I mean, took way too long, but I'm glad he finally got it. Well deserved. Just under 500 home runs. I don't know how it took him so long, but
He was shadowed by the whole steroid era.
yeah, but it's crazy.
Definitely
Clean.
glad he's in, though. He deserves it.
Yeah, for sure. And Mattingly didn't get it in, which was upsetting. And none of the
I kind of
steroid guys.
expected
Yeah,
it.
yeah, me too. But I was surprised that with that ballot, that the steroid guys and Schilling like didn't get any vote. Like they barely got
Yeah.
any votes. Or Schilling got votes, but not Bonds and Clemens. Oh yeah, Kyle. Do you guys know that Kyle's against them getting into the Hall of Fame?
have you said?
I
I think
think-
you've said that, no?
I
Yeah.
am.
We talked about this the other day, but I forgot if or come on, Mello.
Oh, you're still waiting? I thought you guys were carrying the conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to waste some time because I didn't want
My fault. Okay, I think I got one.
All right.
I'm gonna say Andrew Benintendi gets signed next week for some reason. I don't know why that was the first name that popped up. Gotta think of a team here. You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and say the Dodgers do something,
Ugh.
and that's it.
Interesting.
Oh, it was that or Yankees. Oh.
You could say the Yankees. I wouldn't mind.
Well, no, I want to say the Dodgers. So
All right.
they need to do
Say the
something.
Dodgers. All right. Sounds good. Oh, and then we asked followers on Instagram.
Yeah, don't forget about the people, Bobby.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was saving best for last. So
Nice save there.
exactly. That was smooth, right? So Gabriel.
Gabriel. Just
Marchero-
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Just Gabriel.
Sorry for messing that up. San Francisco fan. Now that Judge is out of the picture, who else can arrive to the Bay?
I feel bad for you, Gabriel.
But do you really though? Because I kind of don't.
I
'Cause
do.
I'd rather have Judge than he have Judge.
Well, me too, but I still feel bad for him.
Just the way it all went down.
I say they get Carlos Correa.
I'm right there with you, Bobby.
I mean, still got Brandon Crawford there. I know there's been rumors about them being interested in a shortstop, but I'm not sure they really get any other big names. I know Rodon back to them is a possibility, but I'm not sure they necessarily sign anybody else.
Oh, don't let Gabriel down like that.
I'm sorry about it, Gabe.
Mello, anyone going to San Francisco? Any of your sources say anything?
I haven't talked to them recently, so
Right.
not about the Giants. So I have to touch base with them again. But I'm kind of leaning with Matt here. I think I'm gonna jump on with him again. I've
There we
gained.
go.
He's
Oh,
regained
God.
regained my trust. Listen, I think the front office they'll make little moves, but I think they're just so defeated by not getting Aaron Judge that I think it's gonna be a quiet off season for them. They'll make some moves, but
But at least they have
not
Arson
that big
Judge.
splash. Yeah,
So
Come on, Bobby.
at least
you're
they have
gonna
that.
you're gonna keep twisting the knife, Bobby.
Yes.
MVP. MVP. MVP.
Brandon Black says, hot take, Astros sign Carlos Rodon.
No.
Oh God,
Big
That
no.
would suck, but I don't
are they
think.
even in the running?
I haven't
Are they
heard
one of the
anything
teams
about
that are
that.
talking to him?
I haven't heard anything. I don't really think they necessarily need him in the rotation. Well, they could obviously they would.
They take
It'd
him.
make
They
room.
take him. Yeah, they make room.
Yeah.
But their rotation is gross, even with losing Verlander. I don't know if they would spend the money on that as opposed to, like an outfielder, like Conforto, Nimmo.
They're bringing in Gallo. Book it.
Whoa.
Okay,
I see it.
all right. Or
But
Joey
yeah,
Gallo, like Kyle says.
as far as Rodon, I think they could use the money elsewhere, and like you said, Bobby, I don't think they need it.
Yeah,
Go get a catcher.
Yeah.
yeah, that too. Um, Dylan Zerloin says, "Do you think the Padres have a chance at signing Xander Bogaerts?"
I've heard they've been in talks. There's rumors there. For my own personal selfish reasons, seeing as I predicted Xander back to the Red Sox 2 times, once on this podcast and once in our predictions, I'm gonna say no, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
I think it's between the Padres and the Red Sox at this point. At least for Xander, that would be my 2 teams that I would say he lands. You know what? I'm gonna like obviously my predictions are still Red Sox, but I'm gonna say yeah. You know what? He goes to the Padres. The Padres obviously have tried to land 2 huge players. I think they overpay for Xander.
They're gonna
Let's
have
get
to.
Crozy.
Definitely more than the Red Sox, and it's gonna have to be more than 40 million too. I'm saying like
400
60
million
maybe.
for Xander.
Oh my
This just
god.
in: San Diego Padres signed Xander Bogaerts to an 8-year, $400 million contract. That's crazy.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
Bye bye Soto.
Um, Phillies Nation on Instagram says, "Where do you rank the Phillies lineup with the addition of Trea Turner?"
Dead last.
Oh.
No, I'm
Yeah,
playing.
no, I'd probably say like right now, is it 1, 2?
Is it top 3?
Yeah,
Top 3?
I think top 3. I do think top 3. I mean,
Yeah.
Dodgers are up there.
Dodgers and Braves, I think, have an argument. Other than that, yeah, I feel good with where the Phils are at. Minus Bryce Harper being injured, but
Yeah, I don't know. And then next one. Hold on, what is this? Nolteria says, I don't know if I butchered that. A's above 500 season. That's just hilarious. I don't even know why I said that
I
out
hate to
loud.
break it to you.
That just wasted my time. That just wasted 3 seconds of my life. Saying
Hot
that.
take, yes.
A's.
Let's
That's
get to
A's
Vegas.
50-win season.
I think even
Damn.
that's pushing it.
Oh Let's get to
Uh,
Vegas first.
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Shayaz says way too early division predictions. Let's push that off. I think that's a whole different conversation. How about real quick? Let's just go NL East as of right now, because I think that's the most intriguing division right now.
Braves, Phillies, Mets, Marlins, Nationals. In that order.
Said Mets third.
Give me the exact copy of Melos. Mets gonna Met, baby.
Yeah, you might be right. Let's go. I'm gonna go bold.
Phillies first.
Nationals
Bobby, you
first.
know you want to.
Nationals
Phillies,
first.
Mets, Braves, Marlins, Nationals. As of right now, I don't know. I'm just saying this. Pile anything?
You are on the record, Bobby.
Yes. All right, I'll stick with that then. Remind me later on.
Okay.
Bobby, I'm kind of going towards yours, but
What did I say? Phillies, Mets, Braves? Yeah, I said Phillies, Mets, Braves.
this is not the year that the Mets are gonna Met. Mets first, Phillies second, Braves, Marlins, Nationals.
Wow.
Interesting. We'll get into that later on in the offseason, obviously. But And then Jake Lambert says, "You want to play for the Savannah Bananas?" I don't know if this is a contract offer, if he's trying to recruit us for, but I certainly wouldn't be against it. I would say yes if this is a contract offer. Get in touch with us. I'm personally saying yes. I'll play. I
I'll quit my day job
yeah.
tomorrow, please.
Maybe,
Like, yeah,
maybe he's
sure,
the
let's do it.
I'm not sure about this Jake Lambert fella, but if he's the GM or owner or something of the Savannah Bananas or recruiting scout, maybe possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe you heard a lot about us. Yeah, we're all willing to play for the Savannah Bananas if you guys are recruiting. We're not
Do I
going to
get
say
a
no.
Do I get a lifetime of bananas if I join?
Maybe. I think that
Deal
comes with the
breaker.
contract.
Yeah, we just that instead of money we get bananas.
And yeah, that's it. Any final thoughts? We said our predictions for the next week.
I got a final thought.
Uh-oh.
Judge we could have had it all, man, here on the West Coast. We could have had it all, man. We could have had it all. We could have had the trifecta. We could have had Betts, Soto, and Judge. We were gonna bring the West Coast. We were gonna come back on top with this. This was gonna be our off season for Judge to come out to the West Coast, and we were gonna have the trifecta out here on the West. But guess not. Wanted to stay Yankee. Don't have a
Well,
problem.
if you want Melo, I kind of forget what was the Dodgers offer to Judge. What was that? That was like what, less than 250 or something like that?
Yeah, we generally like to, go high AAV, maybe not years.
Okay.
The 2-year, 200 million.
Yes, I think that's very fair.
Any other final thoughts for any of you?
We were never in on Judge. Come on now.
Thank you, Dombrowski. I know you're listening.
Yes, of
This is
course.
what
All
we
the
brought
GMs
you in
listen here.
for.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Brian or Hal Steinbrenner, I should say.
That was hell. That
Yes.
was
Yeah, well, thanks, Hal, for extending Brian Cashman, right?
Right. Yeah, that was the big move. That was the big move.
You guys are crazy. Tommy Canley. That's why
Oh,
we're
yeah.
thanking him.
Ah, there you
That's
go.
why we're thanking him.
Yep. Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens the next week because we just had a ton of moves. Knowing Major League Baseball, there are probably going to be no moves in the next week. And then they're going to wait until like January or February to start making significant moves again because that's just how free agency works in baseball. But let's hope for the best. And until next time, peace. See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah.